Guys and girls, I'm Drew, aka the Green Arrow. This is my review of episode 19 labeled Canary Cry. For all you who don't know, Arrow's actually gone on a break and will be back on the 27th of April in America. So I think it's going to be about a week later until we actually get it. So Arrow's on a break for a little while, but when it comes back, it should be gripping. Let's hope. Okay, so if you've not seen the trailer, I'd go off, see the trailer, then come back. Okay, so we see that the whole of the Green Arrow team is at the funeral of what we believe is the Black Canary. Um, we also see her dad and her mum also appear in the episode. Um, we also know that Atalia al Ghul makes an appearance as well at the funeral. So that'd be interesting to see how that actually plays out and what she's about and all this kind of stuff and why she actually at the funeral. We know that her and Laura were friends, but we have a former member of the League of Assassins at her funeral, which is going to be interesting. We also see in this episode, at the beginning, Oliver is at her gravestone, and Barry turns up, aka the Flash. He turns up, and they have like a little conversation, and Oliver says to him, you know, you're late because you're still facing Zoom. So you know, in the Flash, there's, if you don't watch the Flash, basically what's going on in the Flash at the moment is Barry's trying to get to Zoom, who they all believe at the moment is Jay Garrett, which we know, if you've been following it, that it's not actually Jay Garrett, it's Zolom, Zolom, Hunter, Hunter Zolomon. That's who it is, and yeah. So the team's all focused on getting Zoom. So I take it that's why he's late to the funeral. We also know that in the Flash, in I don't quite know. I think it's in another two episodes of the Flash, but we actually get to see the Black Canary from Earth 2, who Barry obviously is gonna go off and fight. And I'm hoping somehow he can actually talk her down and she can come part of the Arrow team, I'm guessing, because like we need a Black Canary. I'm not being funny, but in the Arrow universe, it's Black Canary and Green Arrow. So to kill her off completely, that's kind of a stupid move on the writer's behalf. But as we know, the story writers for this season hasn't been that great. You know, it's been good, but it's not been great. And all this Felicity, Oliver romance, there's a lot of people who are hating, but you know, they don't actually, well, they shouldn't be together, really, if I'm being quite blunt. Because, like, he's always been him and the Black Canary. I'm not saying, like, marry them off in any way, but I'm just saying that, come on now, guys, we need a Black Canary. So I'm hoping that the Flash can bring us the Black Canary. Here's hoping. So we also know that Dougal actually loses it in this episode because of the previous episode. His brother actually screwed over the team. So I'm guessing he's feeling a lot to blame for that because, you know, obviously Oliver told him that, you know, he's not to be trusted and, you know, he's up to something. But Dougal, being the guy he is, he's trying to like give his brother the benefit of the doubt, and he says to Oliver in the episode, you know, you were the one what extracted him from Hive, and you know all about second chances, and yeah, he gave him that second chance, but it backfired on him majorly, unfortunately. We also know that Damien Dark's wife is actually going to make an appearance in Canary Cry. So I'm hoping we get to see Dark himself because that'd be pretty cool. See what kind of tricks and games that him and Merlin are actually up to at the moment because you know that they're talking about something called Genesis, which is supposed to be going ahead I'm hoping. I don't actually know what it is at the moment, but I'm hoping that we can get to know more, a little bit more in the following episodes coming up to the season climax, because obviously we know that Arrow's got another season, which is season 5, which if we don't change it, it's gonna lose a lot of viewers. Like I've always said, I'm a Green Arrow fan. Like, I'm happy to watch it, but at the same time, I'm gonna be very, very, very disappointed at the same time. So, I'm kind of hoping that you know it gets a little bit better come season 5. I'm hoping you get to see him use his bow and arrow a lot more, because obviously known as the Green Arrow, he's not been really shooting off his arrow that much. So I'm just hoping that we can make a U-turn and we can actually bring him out to be the Green Arrow that everybody knows and loves from the comics. We also know that we're going to get a lot of flashbacks this episode of Laurel and Oliver, Black Canary and Green Arrow. And the whole episode is entitled Canary Cry. So I'm taking it you're going to get a lot of flashbacks of her doing her thing before she was the Black Canary, and obviously being the Black Canary. One thing that interested me actually in this trailer was that at the very end of the trailer you get to see like Dougal, he loses it completely, and like he pulls over Dark's wife and he actually hits her. So we know that Dougal's really, really feeling like the pain at the moment. So I'm hoping that like he doesn't lose it too much, and we don't lose his goodness, I suppose, because he's always been the one to talk down Oliver and put wisdom into his head. So I'm hoping that he doesn't turn into like some kind of villain and like he's just turns heartless. Like, I'm really not feeling that. I hope to God that he stays as a good guy. So yeah, that's been my little breakdown of this episode, entitled once again Canary Cry. Well, that's me. I'm Drew, aka Green Arrow. If you like what you hear, continue watching. If you don't watch. If you like what you hear, you want to put a comment, stick it down below. If you're negative, who cares? I don't. So, give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can't, give me a thumbs down. Like I said, I'm Drew, and I'll see you around. Straight shooting, people.